They laughed at her shoes, whispered behind her back, and treated her like she didn't belong. In their eyes, she was just another black woman who couldn't afford the luxury around her. But what they didn't know was that she owned more than any of them could ever dream of. This isn't just a story about humiliation. It's a story about pride, truth, and the power of identity. The glass doors of Maison Duval, one of New York's most expensive luxury boutiques, slid open with a soft chime as a woman named Amara Lewis stepped inside. She was dressed simply: jeans, a gray sweatshirt, and sneakers that had clearly seen better days. Around her, the store gleamed with marble floors, crystal lights, and quiet piano music. But as soon as she walked in, the atmosphere shifted. The sales associates exchanged glances. Their smiles faded into polite stiffness. Amara moved through the aisles, admiring the heels displayed like trophies on glass shelves. She picked up a pair of limited edition stilettos, sleek, black, and studded with tiny diamonds. But before she could even look for her size, a sharp voice interrupted her. "Those are very expensive," said one of the clerks, her tone dripping with fake politeness. "Maybe you'd prefer something more affordable?" The words stung. Amara stayed quiet, giving a small smile as she placed the shoes back. She could feel every eye in the store following her, whispering judgments, assuming stories. Another associate walked past, spraying perfume in the air, but the mist stopped just short of where Amara stood. A small deliberate insult. She took a deep breath and walked to the counter, asking to see the store's premium collection. The woman behind the register smirked. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but that section is by appointment only." Her tone wasn't apologetic. It was mocking. A couple standing nearby chuckled under their breath. Amara looked around, luxury bags, glossy walls, and fake smiles everywhere. She felt the familiar burn of humiliation creeping in, the same one she'd felt years ago when people judged her by her skin instead of her story. But instead of walking out, she said calmly, "No problem. I'll come back with an appointment." As she turned to leave, one of the staff whispered just loud enough, "She probably can't even afford the tax." Laughter followed her out the door. They didn't know her name. They didn't know her story. And they definitely didn't know what tomorrow would bring. The next morning, the luxury boutique prepared for its biggest event of the season, a private investor visit. The manager, Vanessa Cole, had been stressing all week. Every detail mattered: the lighting, the perfume in the air, even the placement of each handbag. Her staff hurried, whispering instructions and rehearsing greetings. None of them could imagine that the woman they mocked yesterday would be the guest of honor today. Outside, a black car pulled up, sleek, tinted, expensive. The driver stepped out first, opening the door with quiet precision. Out came Amara Lewis, now in a tailored white suit, diamond earrings glinting against her skin, and a calm, confident expression that commanded silence. The store staff froze. One of the clerks, the same woman who had insulted her, blinked in disbelief. "That can't be her," she whispered. That's the woman from yesterday." Amara walked in as the boutique's regional director greeted her with a warm smile. "Miss Lewis, it's such an honor to finally meet you in person," he said. "Our team's been looking forward to your visit." Vanessa, the manager, frowned, confused. "Wait. Miss Lewis?" "Yes," the director said proudly. "Amara Lewis, founder and CEO of All Looks, one of the fastest-growing luxury investment firms in the country. She's reviewing several high-end brands this month, including ours." Silence. The same employees who had laughed at her stood frozen, their faces pale. Amara's calm eyes swept across the room. "Good morning," she said, her tone soft but firm. "I thought I'd come see your premium collection after all." The staff scrambled to assist her now, offering champagne, pulling out displays, fake smiles plastered on every face, but it was too late. The shift in energy was almost painful. Yesterday, they saw a woman beneath them. Today, she stood above them, and not just in power, but in grace. As Amara examined a pair of red heels, the clerk who had mocked her approached nervously. "Miss Lewis, I'm so sorry about yesterday." "I didn't realize," Amara turned to her, expression steady. "You didn't realize I had money?" she asked quietly. The clerk opened her mouth, but no words came out. Amara continued, You shouldn't treat people with respect because they might be someone important. You should do it because it's right. Vanessa, humiliated and speechless, tried to step in, but Amara's composure silenced the room. The air was heavy with guilt and realization. The mask had fallen. The truth was visible in every trembling face. Before leaving, Amara turned to the director and said politely, "I appreciate the invitation, but I won't be investing in a brand that disrespects its customers." With that, she walked out, her heels echoing through the boutique like a gavel of justice. The story didn't end when Amara walked out of the boutique. It was only beginning. Within 24 hours, her quiet decision made waves that rippled far beyond those marble walls. News spread fast in New York's luxury scene. Al Looks withdraws multi-million deal with Maison Duval, investors panicked. Social media caught wind of it next, when a customer recorded a short clip of the boutique staff mocking Amara the day before. It went viral. The internet exploded with outrage. Hashtags flooded every platform. Hashtag shop with respect, hashtag Amara Lewis, hashtag luxury with dignity. People began calling for boycotts. Influencers, journalists, even celebrities spoke out, not just about Amara, but about how often this kind of quiet discrimination happens in luxury spaces. The boutique's name, once whispered with elegance, was now shouted in anger. Inside the store, panic replaced pride. The manager, Vanessa, faced furious calls from headquarters. The same employees who once laughed now sat in tears during an emergency meeting. "We didn't mean to offend her," one said, her voice trembling, but excuses didn't matter anymore. Their brand's image had shattered. Meanwhile, Amara stayed silent. She didn't post, didn't speak publicly. She didn't need to. Her silence carried more power than their apologies. But one morning, as she looked through countless messages of support, she decided to post a single statement on her company's official page. Dignity should never depend on appearance, race, or wealth. Respect people before you recognize them, not after. That one line spread like wildfire. It was quoted on talk shows, business blogs, and news headlines. Even other luxury brands publicly supported her message, pledging to retrain their staff. Amara's calm act of walking away had done more than destroy a store's reputation. It changed an entire conversation about how people are treated. Weeks later, the boutique chain released a formal apology, begging for another chance. Their manager was replaced, staff retrained, and the brand's image rebuilt from the ground up. But Amara never returned. She had already made her point, not with anger, but with quiet, unshakable dignity. Months later, during a charity gala in Manhattan, Amara stood on stage, receiving an award for Business Leader of the Year. As the crowd applauded, she smiled softly, thinking back to that humiliating day. She didn't seek revenge, she sought change. And she got it because sometimes the loudest justice isn't shouted, it's earned.